This is not a story about how $42 became a company. It is a story about what $42 made possible to observe next.
What can $42 of belief unlock? Not a company, not a venture fund, not a guaranteed return, but possibly the next experiment, the next capability, and the next person who can see a future that was previously too expensive to investigate.
Build in Public University starts before the valuation. We are watching what happens when a public commitment becomes attention, attention becomes an experiment, and an experiment returns information to the network.
This season is a public research and teaching project about how futures become real. We're going to measure the work honestly. What resources were used, what capabilities were built, what outcomes appeared, what remains uncertain, and what becomes cheaper to do next.
Episode 1 begins with the first paying customer. Episode 2 asks who else is like them. Episode 3 searches for the specific market opportunity. Episode 4 builds the capabilities. Episode 5 turns repeated capability into a platform. Episode 6 asks whether a fundraise can attract resources without pretending uncertainty is gone. The platform is a public good for people trying to do difficult work. It should appear free to most users without paying for itself by stealing their data. It measures relative performance, what helped, what failed, what moved faster, and what evidence survived contact with reality.
The system we are building is meant to be a technology public good. The default user experience should be free or nearly free. The system should not need to own everyone's private life in order to understand which paths work better. We measure relative performance, preserve provenance at the edge, and keep the private details where they belong, with people doing the work.
The deadline is Halloween. Not because the calendar is magical, because a bounded season forces the dream to meet time. By then, the target is a cohort of researchers moving faster than they believed possible, or a public record of why we failed.
If you're a researcher, builder, scout, funder, or person trying to make something real, this season is an invitation to participate. Bring a problem, bring a capability, bring a receipt. We will try to make the next trustworthy step cheaper.
The dream is not the proof. The proof is the sequence of attempts that survive. Chapter 1 begins now.